start the XBRL lecture. You can see that this slide is made by Eric Cohen, which is a co-founder of XBRL. So in the previous years, he come here and to do the presentation, but since he is too busy this year, so I'm going to present his slides for you. And actually, I think that you have covered some XBRL in the IT class, right? So, like, for what how much you have covered for XBRL, know what it is about and what. So I will just briefly introduce the concept of XBRL to refresh your mind, and then we'll talk about the issues that of XBRL in the auditing and how the XBRL can help the which to perform the analysis of the financial statement. Okay. So the basic the agenda of this presentation is a brief introduction of XBRL and then the auditing implications and the XBRL's role in the financial statement analysis. So basically, generally speaking, the XBRL is a technology that's based on the XML that uses to tag the information in the organization, so that every piece of information, when they input into the information systems in organization, you will be add some tag that the tag is based on the accounting concepts, like whether this is an asset or whether this is a cash or not. So this tag is just to help the organization to generate the financial reporting, like for example, the financial statement or any other kind of business reports, because those tags will implement which this number or this piece of information need to put into which accounting category and which place in the financial statement. Okay, so actually this process needs the collaboration of different departments of the organization. So it needs to be integrated throughout the whole business reporting supply chain in the organization. So specifically, this picture just describes the business reporting supply chain. So you can see that the business reporting process starts from the business operations. Then we will generally generate some internal business reports. And then quarterly or periodically, we will generate some external business reports. And then those external business reports, like the financial statements, can be used by the investors or can be regulated by the regulators and used by lending. And also they can be used to analyze, to help the microeconomists to do some policy making. So the XBRL plays a role in the part of the business operation and throughout the internal and external business reporting. So the business reports based on XBRL can be used in the last three stages of the business reporting supply chain, like can be used by the investors, can be used by the microeconomists, and those XBRL can be used to report the financial statement. Okay. And then the XBRL as a technology is what we described based on the tagging of information. And it also represents a group of people who devote them into the development and improve of XBRL. So actually this organization that exists not only in the US, but in the globally worldwide. And so let me see whether we have. So you can see that besides the SEC in the US, those organizations to encourage organizations to use XBRL filings also exist in the UK, Canada, Chile, Japan, Israel, Italian, or almost any country in the world. Actually, the truth is that the US is not the country that support XBRL filing, the earliest one to support XBRL filing. It's not the most mature country to support XBRL filing. Some European countries like Italy and Netherlands, they have more matured environment to support the XBRL report. Actually, all the organizations in Italy and the Netherlands, they can only report their financial statement in XBRL format, while in US, the organizations can file in both the XBRL format and the traditional financial statement format. Okay, then next. So specifically in US, the organizations participating with the XBRL mandation and the regulation include the SEC. You know that from the 2009, the SEC started to mandate the public organizations to file their financial statements using the XBRL format. And also the PCAOB also involved in the XBRL. And also the FASB, they basically used to issue the taxonomies that to reflect the FASB regulations. Also the IASB, they issue the XBRL taxonomies that are related to the IFRS regulations. So this is the website, there's the SEC website that's related to the XBRL. So in this website, you can find all kinds of information related to XBRL, like the rules and the regulators for XBRL and the interpretive guidelines, the technology explanations, and some background of XBRL. So here it shows the source code of the XBRL document. As I said, that the XBRL is based on the XML. So any of you familiar with XML? No? Okay, let me briefly introduce it. So basically, the XML is originated from the HTML, which is the a technology to make the web page. For example, in any web page, if you click the developer, you go to the page source, you can see that this is the source code of the Blackboard, this web page. So basically, this is the HTML file. It has some tags. You can see it here. For example, the Blackboard Learn, it's tagged as title. So this means that this is the title of this web page. And also there are some other type of tag to regulate the style of this some informations, and to regulate the for example, whether it is the here it is body of this website. But for the HTML, the text is just used to define the format of the information that presented in the web page. While XML is based on HTML because it also uses this text, but this text can be in XML. This text can be defined by users, and it can be used to define more attributes of the information, not just the format, some other attributes as well. Okay, so the XBRL is just the tags in XBRL can also be defined by the users, by the organization. And also the these tags are mainly used to present the accounting information. So they're mostly related to some accounting regulations, like the IFRS regulation or US GAAPs, to reflect the accounting concept. Okay, so this is the basic idea of XML and XBRL. Where is my slide? Okay. So if you take a look at the source code, it shows that, for example, in the first line of this source code, it defined a number which is 2039 as the debt instrument maturity. So this is one concept this is one accounting concept. So this tag reflects that the debt instrument maturity, the value of that instrument maturity is 2039. So when we need to generate the financial statement, we can just put this 2039, this value, into some accounting, into some items that in financial statements that include the debt instrument maturity. Specifically, we will include this number in the debt part in the financial statement. Okay. So besides this, you can see there is a reference that related to this tag. So it will show what this definition is about and where this definition is originated from. Like, what are the regulations that define this tag, this audit concept. So you can see that here, actually for the preparers of XBRL documents and the analysts of the XBRL documents, we're not going to work with those source code. So you're not, if you think that you have difficulty to understand this source code, you don't need to worry too much, because finally this source code will be generated using some software. So you just need to put number in, and the software automatically generate this XBRL document. And finally, you will see the XBRL document is just like this. Okay, so you can see that the shares issued, like in different, how much shares issued in different period, and what are the other numbers that related to certain items in the financial statement. So it's just like the traditional financial statement, but in digital format. And if you click into each item or each accounting concept that shows in the report, it will show the definition of this concept and the reference of this concept, like from which audit accounting standard this concept is generated and originated. Okay. Just we have briefly mentioned the mandatory use of XBRL is not just in US, it's also in like Asia, UK, finance, and India. And there are other optional and mandate usage of XBRL besides the financial statement, is that we can use XBRL to do the tax report, to do the sustainability report, and in the banking and insurance industry, they are required to use XBRL to generate, or as well as internal reports. Okay. And basically, there are two key pieces of XBRL. As we said, one is XBRL taxonomy that derived from the accounting standards, and another one is the XBRL Instance Document. So first, let's see what is XBRL taxonomy. So for example, the XBRL taxonomy can be all these concepts that in the financial statement, like that. For example, we may have one tag named cash and cash equivalents. We have another tag named the short-term investment. So this taxonomy just like accounting dictionary, or create some accounting vocabularies for us to use these vocabularies to tag the information. So this is another example of XBRL source code. So the tag used in this source code include the description of details of defaults during periods of principal interest. And actually this source code is define those taxonomies of XBRL. So it defines the different accounting terms and the relationship between the different accounting terms. Like if we have hierarchy relationship, for example, if we have one tag named asset, and then we have another tag named cash. So then the cash should belong below to asset. It's a part of asset. So this kind of relationship is also defined in the XBRL taxonomy. And also, even though you need to define the XBRL taxonomies, you are not necessary to work with this source code. So basically, the elements that included in the XBRL taxonomy include some human stuff, like the labels, the definition of the labels, and the reference of the labels, like where it come from, and the instructions for the machine to read this information, because XBRL is a language that's designed for a machine, not to human. Okay, so and as well for the XBR taxonomy, it also includes some machine stuff like element name and the data type, and the instructions for how the concept related to the other concept, and how, like for example, what formulas we can use to calculate one kind of concept. So generally speaking, the elements included in taxonomy include the label, the relationship, the presentation, the concept, the definition, and the formula. Okay, so currently we are mainly focused on the tagging business information using the XBRL taxonomies or tags. But XBRL actually goes more than that. It's not just tag information, tag a piece of information using some accounting concept. But as we mentioned, they also can reflect the relationships between the concept, and we can see how to calculate certain values based on those relationships. So usually it have like multi-dimension purposes, and it can reveal the mathematical relationship, and it's very flexible for business reporting, because like for those they want to use XBR to do their internal reports, they can even add their own tags or add their own vocabularies to those XBRL taxonomies to show whatever they want in the audit report, in the business report. Okay, and this screenshot just demonstrates the taxonomy of one XBR taxonomy. So you can see that the hierarchy relationship is obviously shown here. For example, we have some one tag named asset, and then one tag below this or belong to this is asset current, and then we have cash and equivalent, including some more specific audit concept. Okay, and then for each specific audit concept, we have some references related to it, just like the definitions to define those accounting concepts, and where this accounting concept come from, which audit standards. So this is just to show you the basic interface for the users, for the preparers to define XBRL taxonomy. So it's not just a collection of accounting vocabularies, accounting concept. It also shows the relationship, like hierarchical relationship and other mathematic relationship between accounting concepts. Okay, so the taxonomies, the existing XBRL taxonomies available for now, it includes the taxonomies for financial reporting and taxonomies for statutory filings, and also they have a separate taxonomy for tax filings, governmental reporting, internal reporting, and sustainability reporting. So for all different purposes, they have different the XBRL taxonomies. Okay, and this just some screenshots of the website demonstrate the use of XBRL in different industry. And again, this shows the mandatory program of XBRL. Like in SEC, we have the mandatory of XBRL in financial statements and extractive industries. Also globally, we have the mandatory programs in Europe, Asian, South America, and others. And here it also shows what XBRL is used in different industries and in different countries. Okay, like here it just shows how XBRL is required to report the banking data, and in the ISA Magnan, and how is XBRL is required in Austria and the Netherlands. Okay, so those are something that related to the XBRL taxonomy. So besides the XBRL taxonomy, we also need an XBRL instance document to demonstrate how this XBRL tax can be related to the business information. So for example, this is a part of a business report, and it have so many financial accounting concepts, and also it have the value that related to those concepts. So in XBRL, we are not going to only show those accounting concepts, but we will also show the corresponding values for each accounting concept so that we could use it to generate the business report. Also, in addition to the value, we are going to show the period and the purpose of the title or the purpose of this business report. Okay, this is just the source code of that XBRL report. Again, we don't need to work with this source code. We just can use software to create it. So, like the name of XBRL indicates the extensible business reporting language. It is extensible. It means that organizations can add whatever tax they want to the taxonomy and to use it to generate their unique business reports. Okay, so these are also some taxonomies related to XBRL. And then there is another type of XBRL named Inline XBRL. It just embed the XBRL text into the HTML web page, so that for internal use, the organizations can generate their financial report, their internal report that in terms of web page, and it can be easily accessed by the employees all around the organization. And because those financial statements already have this XBRL text, so it's easier for the employees to drill down into the numbers to see the more detailed or aggregated information that used to create this internal reports. So this technology is named Inline XBRL. And so far, XBRL is mainly used to create a financial statement or to be used in the stock exchange or regulatory mandates. So many people think that the XBRL is just used for the financial statement because it's mandatory by the SEC and it complies with the US GAAP, FRS, or Canadian GAAP. But however, it is not, because XBRL is just a technology to tag information. So it can be used to generate all kinds of reports, not just a financial statement. Because financial statement is mandatory, but for any other reports like internal reports, it also can help the organization to generate that reports. So the similar reports like the tax reports or sustainability reports. So it's just a technology that can support for all these kind of reporting activities. Okay. So and traditional financial reports information, they are very they're highly aggregated. So it's just like this iceberg. We can only see the things that above the water. It's highly aggregated. But using the XBRL, it's easier for the users to drill down to see the more detailed information that is used to calculate the numbers shows in the financial statement. So that were easier for them to do the analysis of the financial statement, and it were easy for them to audit those numbers that in the financial statement. Okay. So the role of XBRL, so it will basically cover all the departments in the organization, like the operational, the tax, and the consolidation system. Okay. So another advantage of XBRL is, for example, if the organization is a large organization and they have branches in different countries, so their information systems may be represented in different languages. So in traditional audit, it's not easy for auditors to understand those information that are presented in foreign languages. Well, by using XBRL, since every information is tagged using XBRL taxonomy, so we can just, it's just another layer that's beyond those language presentations. So we can go through those languages using the XBRL tags to see what is the meaning of those information. So we can just ignore those or avoid those language differences and go to the using the XBRL tag to see the real meaning of the language. So it will be also easier for users to do the analysis or to do the audit of those numbers. Okay, so that's the brief introduction of XBRL as a technology. And then we'll take a look at the auditing issues related to XBRL. The first thing we want to discuss is the assurance on XBRL. So you know that since in XBRL we just add tags to each information, so how do we know that the tags we added is accurate to reflect those information? So if the tag itself is not accurate, then if we use a tag to generate the financial report, then the financial report will not fairly represent the organization's financial statement, right? So actually, currently, I remember there are many academic researchers. They are comparing the XBRL reports with their traditional financial reports of the organization, and they find that there are a large number of mistakes and errors in the XBRL-based financial reporting. So that means that this, even though this is a mandatory in the US or the other countries, so this technology still have some deficiencies. So we still need to improve, like either the taxonomies or the way the organizations use to create the XBRL report, to make sure that the numbers that shows in the XBRL report can be more accurate, can reflect the actual financial situation in the organization. So specifically, the discussion of the assurance on XBRL that started a few years before the XBRL became mandated, and it originated by AICPA. So you can find more detailed information about this discussion in this website, and also then the PCAOB adopted to require that we need to provide some assurance on the XBRL report. Also, then the SEC and AICPA have issued some attestation to say that the XBRL tax data should be complete, accurate, and consistent with the actual data. And then in 2011, AICPA issued this principle and the criteria for XBRL formatted information to demonstrate how users can provide assurance on XBRL to make sure those information that shows in the XBRL report is complete, is how the organization should map those information to the XBRL report, and how to make those to be consistent with the actual number. So here it just shows that there are many assurances that have been delivered on XBRL, both inside the US and outside the US. For example, in Australia, New Zealand, and UK, they have also required the assurance on the XBRL documents. And this is an example of the certificate of XBRL financial statement issued in India. And you can see that the contents in this certificate include that, like this XBRL formatted document is fairly represents and include all material, respect, and audited financial statements of the company. So there are any other kind of assurances still in progress, like in Netherlands, in Japan, and in somewhere, and also to provide assurance on this inline XBRL. So specifically, when we talk about the assurance on XBRL, there are several things we want to focus. Is that first we want to make sure that, sorry, I need to move this. So we just want to make sure that the tags really match, first the tags really match the presentation, and we want to see whether the tag content match the detailed information, or we want to make sure the taxonomies are accurate, correct, and whether all the information has been tagged. So those are the issues that related to the assurance on the XBRL document. So specifically, how can we provide assurance on the XBRL document? So this is there is an digital signature method that originated in Netherlands. So it just provides the digital signature on the XBRL document to make sure that the document is fairly represent the information that that in the actual transactions. Okay. So specifically, they are not just to make sure that the tag is correctly assigned to each piece of information, as well. It also makes sure that the value that's assigned to those tags or that related to those information is correct, based on the is correct according to the original the actual number. And also it can provide more disaggregated assurance. So specifically for each transaction or each piece of information, they can make sure that the tag as well as the values, the numbers are correct. So after the XBRL document has been assured, then the organizations can use this tags, this XBR information, to generate more frequent reports or even the real-time reports, because they don't need to like input any other information in the organization. They can easily generate the report anytime using the tags, the XBRL tags. So they can, for example, they can generate different reports in 1 minute or in half an hour or in the different time interval. Okay. So there are any additional considerations regarding to the XBRL, the assurance on XBRL. For example, whether we need to put the digital notary on the XBRL document, or whether we need to ask the third party, the trusted third party, to provide authentication of the XBRL document, or whether in which level we should provide the assurance on. So where we just provide the assurance on the statement level, the report level, or the data level, or the more detailed disaggregated data level. So that are some issues that are related to the assurance on XBRL document. Now we can see that how XBRL changed the current audit. For example, the nature of current report and the current audit has changed. Before that, or the financial statement, the reporting are consumed by a human, while currently, because we have all this text, so this report can be easily generated automatically. And then the previous audit nature is to investigate whether the financial statement fairly represent the organization's situation, because just to see whether the numbers are correct according to the actual transactions. Well, currently we just need to check whether the number that in the XBRL document fairly represent the thing. We just need to make sure the tags are correct, and the but because the values are generated from the original transactions, we just need to make sure that the taxonomies and tags we add to the information is correct. Also, the parties that engaged into the financial reporting, the business reporting, will be changed. For example, because everything will be automated, so probably we don't need to do the physical field work. So maybe in a day we can do the remote audit, and also because by standardize this audit documentation, maybe we can rely more on the internal audits or the third-party audits, and the staff that participate in the audit maybe are required more technical background that can be deal with the XBRL preparation and XBRL analysis. So those like things, those parties that engaged in the audit maybe change as well. Also, then the risk assessment method, for example, because the tag starts to be added when the information is input into the system. So it's just like has been controlled at the beginning. So maybe in this case, we don't need that strict internal controls for those information because it's already been added tags from the beginning. So it will have impact on the integration on control segregation of duties. Also the evidence gathering, because all the XBRL information is then digitalized. So the evidence can also be gathered like in the electronic format. And then we can also use those to do the confirmation, and we may not need to do the observation, and then the electronic format can also help us to reperform some calculations and do the analytical procedures. Similar, the evaluation of evidence and testing will be changed as well. The electronic format of information of tags can also help us to avoid those sampling process and easier for us to do the benchmark and due diligence. So the XBRL also enables the online reporting, which will increase the communication. And then finally, the reporting is from document to data, changes from document to data. And then let's take a look at how XBRL can enable the financial statement analysis. Actually, there are a lot of tools that can be used, that can be deal with the XBRL reports or XBRL documents. For example, if you go to the website named XBRL.org, so there is tools and services section. So you can find there are some tools available on the website. So for you to deal with the XBRL, either to prepare the XBRL filing or to do the analysis using the XBRL document. So you can see that there is a service category includes the filing preparation, like training or taxonomy, maintenance, and data aggregation, something like that. Actually, there are even more tools available online before those. So now I'm going to show you some tools that's related to the analysis of financial statements using XBRL documents. So for example, this tool named the XBRL Consistency Suite. So it's basically have all the XBRL filings that extracted from Edgar. So if you have one tag that in your financial statement, you may want to know which are the other organizations that also have this tag. So this may indicate that you have your business have some similar features that you may want to compare your some values in your financial statements with those organizations' financial statements. So in this case, you can just input the tag that you want to search. In this case, it's the capital label. So it will just shows you returns the organizations that also have this tag in their XBRL document. So you can see that there are there are 8 organizations that also have this tag. So you may want to compare some values in your financial statement with those organizations' financial statement to see whether you are doing good or not. And also, here it could also search for some concept here, like this effective income tax rate. So you can search for this concept to see the value that related to this concept in the others organizations' financial report, and then directly compare this value with the value in your financial statement. So this can help organizations to do the benchmark more easier. And then this figure just shows the basically general use of XBRL in different industries. And then there you can drill down by using these two filters. For example, you can check the different concept of XBRL that use in different industries to see which industry that have that usually tagged use which XBRL concept. And then there are some other applications, include the analytical applications and the processing applications and the transaction processing applications. So for example, and all these applications are open source, they are free. So if you are interested in this, you can search those applications online and you can download the XBRL filings from Rutgers and try to play with these applications using the XBRL documents. So for example, here we use one application to demonstrate this application that can use the visualization techniques to show the numbers that in the XBRL document. So you can easily create dashboard or just to use this number to understand and analyze those informations that are tagged using XBRL tags. And also this figure shows the different values, the values in different years that corresponded to a certain concept to show you the change of the value of this accounting concept. And then there is another tool called Ariel that can be used to search the XBRL filings. For example, there is a function in this tool that allows you to search for your names in the other organizations' financial statements. So you can see whether there are any other organizations mention your name in their financial statements or not. And also you have some other functions like to calculate some informations or to set some formulas to test some assertions. Okay, so basically that's what I'm going to cover. So you can see that XBRL as a tagging information, and the major use is it can help organizations to generate various of reports, and because of the digitalization and electronization feature, it can help it may be able to change some audit natures, and also it can help the auditors to do the analysis easier because all the informations will be digitalized and available. So it can easier for the auditors to do the analysis based on certain XBRL tags.